With the trade of Baker Mayfield, it's and we've kind of alluded to this before. It was pretty obvious that the Browns preferred Jacoby Brissett to Baker Mayfield, at least in most instances. What do you think the reason for that was? I know you've addressed this on your show, but what do you think the Browns like about Brissett as opposed to Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, one of the things I think we forget, especially as analytics kind of creep into the game more and more, is that we put number values on players and we think that that's the only thing that matters, right? What's their PFF grade? Some people go to Madden overalls, and we kind of look at it like a game of Madden where we're like, well, Baker Mayfield's this overall, Jacoby Brissett's that. Why would I start him over that? But the game of football is a people game, right? It is a game about people. John Harbaugh is not a great game planner by any means, but what he is great with, by all accounts, is people management, right? The people stuff matters in this game more so than any other game, just because there's so many guys on the roster. And what Jacoby Brissett brings is not more talent than Baker Mayfield, but it is more consistency, and it's less of that ability to rock the boat, right? When Baker Mayfield says something, he's a former #1 overall pick. He might have some sway. People might think he's this and that, and then that affects the locker room, and it becomes a faction of sorts. Jacoby Brissett, he's a pro. He came up under the Bill Belichick system. He knows what he's supposed to do, what he's not supposed to do. He's not going to rock the boat, and he's going to accept the role that is given to him, which is if he plays, he's going to probably throw the ball 20, 25 times a game, not going to be asked to take too many risks, and not going to be asked to impact the game extraordinarily, where Baker Mayfield wants that to be the case because he believes himself to be a superstar. And believing yourself to be a superstar is great when you are a superstar, but if you are not a superstar, then that can be a problem. We've seen that manifest itself in 2021. So that is kind of what Jacoby Brissett brings to the table. He's just a more realistic person to work with. Both sides, both parties understand what they will and won't get out of Jacoby Brissett. That includes Jacoby Brissett himself. That includes the Cleveland Browns front office. And that includes the Cleveland Browns coaching staff. We all know what to expect out of Jacoby Brissett. The expectations are not through the roof of him, which means that they can game plan better. There is a reason why this team was able to win games and almost win a critical game with a third-string quarterback last year. It's not because the team is bad, right? It's because the team is really good. And when they could just put all that aside and expect very little out the quarterback position and just roll with that, they were able to put together some game plans that could win some football games just by running the ball and being a defensive-oriented team. That's what they can expect out of Jacoby Brissett. That's why they would prefer to go to Jacoby Brissett because, yeah, Baker is more talented, but with Baker comes more burdens, right? He's going to want to throw the ball more than 30 times a game. He's going to want to be in certain packages. He's going to want certain plays. He's going to want certain players on the field. He might throw a temper tantrum. All these things go in with Baker Mayfield. With Jacoby Brissett, yeah, the high-end talent is not there like it is with Baker Mayfield, the potential to be a high-end talent at least. But what is there is consistency. You know what to expect out of him. And that's just better, right? It's like the difference of remember when Deion Waiters was here as a Cavalier? Deion Waiters was a extremely talented shooting guard, right? He could put up 40, 50 on a given night. But what Deion Waiters could not do is accept the role. So when he was moved for somebody who, ironically, in J.R. Smith, that could accept the role and just do what was asked of him, all of a sudden the front court with the back court of that Cavs team got a lot better just because you got rid of some of the friction that was on that team. It's the same way with the quarterback position. Baker brought a lot of talent. He brought a lot of high end, but he also brought a lot of friction in both the locker room and his play style. And that just ended up being the combination that the Browns couldn't go with anymore. And that's why they very early, they made it clear. Yeah, we'll go with Brissett for a year. We're not going to try to mend things with Baker Mayfield, even if it's a worst case scenario, because we would just rather do that.